Hey guys, I'm making a video about a problem with a Chevy Sonic 2012 and the code that I had was 2018 P2018 and the check engine light would come on. So here's what I found. Now to get you started, this is a picture. I'm working with my laptop here. I don't know how else to get this done. Of the 1.8 Ecotech. To give you an idea, there's the brake reservoir, here's the car battery, and then there's the engine. The parts that I'm talking about are in this corner, and they're down underneath a lot of this wiring and hoses and stuff. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to a PDF file. Now what this is it's a drawing basically of the 1.8 engine. To give you an example, right here is the starter. Okay, this would be the transmission filler cap. Alright, and then the front of the engine, the way these face sideways, would be out in this area. Okay, so anyway, with that said, these are call-outs. In other words, a call-out is a larger version of the same drawing, just so to get your attention. So this is the manifold tuning adjustment part that they use to adjust the I believe the airflow or else the fuel. I'm not sure, but that's not what I'm after right now. So there's one section here. Now if you look at that's the one part. Down here is the manifold tuning adjustment solenoid. Okay, that's the solenoid. And then this rod here is what connects the two of them. The way it connects is on the solenoid there's a socket. If you look closely there, you'll see it. That's a socket right there. I hope you can see this video. So that's a socket. On this side here of the rod, and this rod's about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch and 4 to 6 inches long. You'll see at the bottom here there's a ball. So that ball goes into this, where the heck is it at here? This socket. Okay? And at the top it gets connected by, this is a socket that goes over this ball on the tuning part. Alright? Now what happened when I got my code was this area here was my problem on this 2012 Sonic. Apparently the ball, either the ball on the rod or the socket on the adjustment solenoid was, worn a little bit, and the rod would fall off of this. The ball would come out of this socket. So at one point I pushed it back in. I saw it was off. I pushed it back in, started the car up, cleared the code and stuff, and everything was fine. But then in about a day or so it fell back off. Apparently it was worn enough, either the ball here or this socket was worn to the point that it wouldn't, stay together. So here's what I did. I took a piece of duct tape, a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch square, and put the sticky side onto this ball. So in other words, I took a square piece of duct tape and stuck it to the middle of this ball, and it was just barely hanging there. And then I took that and I pushed it into the socket that's on the tuning adjustment solenoid, and once I did that, it took up the gap of whatever wear was there, and this thing stayed together. Now these parts are well over $200 for that solenoid and stuff, but I wasn't going to pay for that because all this junk is made out of plastic. So anyway, like I say, this rod is a plastic piece. It's about a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square, and it's 4 to 6 inches long. And one end has a socket, or the socket is at the top here. One end has a socket, like that is where the socket is. The other end has a ball on it. And on this solenoid, this is where the socket is to fit that ball. And then on the tuning adjuster, that's where the ball is. You can see the ball. It's right there. Okay, and that the lines show you how it goes together. So all I did was at the bottom here, I took a 1/2 inch, I'm repeating myself, piece of duct tape, stuck it to this with a long thin screwdriver, because you can't get your, at least I can't get my hands down in there, and I pushed it back in with another screwdriver, or a little bitty pry bar. It doesn't take much. And if this thing isn't an adjustment, now this top lever here, that's a lever. That lever can be moved up and down a little bit, maybe an inch or so. But this one down here really can't be moved by hand so easily. So if it's not in a close position, you want this socket to be facing the back of the engine. Sometimes it turns and it ends up facing the front. All you gotta do is turn your key on and shut it back off, and this thing will change adjustment every time you turn the key on. So turn the key on, and when this arm is facing the dash now, not the radiator, the dash, then that's when you want to hook that together. Okay? So that's what I've done to hold that in there. It seems, and it's been working for 2 months. There's been no 2018 code and no check engine light. Okay? So that's where that's at. It's that long rod with a ball and socket. Ball at one end, socket at the other. The socket goes into the ball on this actuator here, or I mean on the tuning part, and then the actuator, the solenoid down here, is where the other end goes. So I hope this was clear enough. I'm sorry that I had to use my computer and not the actual car, but believe me, I could barely get my hands down in after this thing. I felt like I was a surgeon working on it, but I couldn't get a video of it that was any good. So going back to the picture of the engine then, again, here's the brake intake, or the brake reservoir, your car battery, and then this is the engine sitting here, and this part is directly underneath here. So just look in there and see if you can't see that rod dangling in there, if you're getting this 2018 or a check engine light that you can't figure out why it's not going off. Okay, so I hope this helps. Have a good one. Bye.